Kacy, just to go through these first two games at various levels of shorthanded, just what you think the key has been to having your backup step up and handle things as well as they have?
Well, everybody that made our roster was asked that, you got to be able to do your job, and when your number's called, be ready to go. And that's kind of worked out for us because we had a lot of guys step up when guys went down. Then we had guys went from one position to another position, and it's just kind of worked out. And guys were ready when their numbers was called.
You don't think about a D-line having to be 7 or 8 deep, but to have Brewer and Green and have them both not only get elevated, but get elevated and probably play 30 snaps between them, that's kind of what you needed.
No question. The listening to you put it out right there make my stomach hurt, but it is exactly right. It was kind of funny. Those are two practice squad guys that played multiple reps in the game, but to their credit, they were ready. They knew what to do and stuff like that, and we trust them. We put them in the game. So from that standpoint, it's just anybody that's have a jersey on game day, you're expected to do your job.
With the injuries you have, especially in the front seven, how good has the secondary been, in particular Zion and just the way his game has gotten to an elite level almost?
I take my hat off to that young man when he stepped up a couple years ago, last year, and the stuff he did, and we put him in a bind with some of the stuff we played. That hey, you got him. You ain't got a lot of help, and we asked him. And he took the challenge, and this year some of the plays he made, and kid just comes to work every day and don't say anything great. My hat goes off to him. I think he's a tremendous player and got a great future.
What is key when you have a situation like that, like Vita Vea goes down, you're already without Kalijah? I know Greg Gaines is very versatile and can kind of line up anywhere, but what's key in that situation when a game is on the line and you're expecting these two guys that were called up from the practice squad the week before and then again that Saturday before, getting them to just step right in and kind of have, I don't want to say a seamless transition, but guys were still able to come away with a victory.
Well, it's tough. But it still goes back to those guys preparing in the meetings, and you're not in there. You're not the starter, but you're a play away. So those guys just kind of, as we said earlier, they know what to do. They know what's expected, and the game's on the line. Somebody went down, the next guy's got to step up. We got to keep it moving. We're not gonna tailor the calls down because you're in the game. This is the game plan. You are responsible for it, and they would just get on down the road.
What have you seen from the defense's overall ability to create pressure? Like specifically for the last game, no sacks on the board, but at the same time, like that pressure led to some interceptions and getting some big stops at the end.
It was kind of interesting looking at it. I think they had X amount of sacks, but they had 7 quarterback hits, and we had 10 quarterback hits, but no sacks. It goes different ways, but the pressure, sometimes we like pressure, get the ball out of his hand. That's the one thing we try to pressure. We don't want the big guy to be able to sit there and pat the ball. We want the ball to come out fast, and if the yards per attempt are low, we're okay. But when it's patting the ball and getting them deep digs and all that, now we got a problem. So that's kind of, it balances out, so to speak.
Kacy, you guys won, and that's all that matters. But I think the defensive snaps were 85 on Sunday. Offensive snaps were 48. Is there a number in your head for what when you go into a game thinking the number of snaps should be, or what you want to keep it under?
As long as I've been there, you just never really know. On average, we'd say as a defensive player, we're going to play probably up to 65 snaps on average. But some games earlier in the year, think of in one of our preseason, we had like 50-some snaps. Then the other day, 8. It just all depends. It just all depends. You just never know.
What can you say about the tackling and just guys even just being in the right position? I mean, that's not always something that you see in week 2. Just kind of the strides that your team has made in that regard. Guys not only being in position to make the plays, but also being able to get those takedowns, because that matters, in a game of inches.
No question, but I think it goes back to a lot of experience, and a lot of our guys been going since OTAs. We had a lot of young guys, as you know, that played a lot last year, and now they're into year 2, and the system is the system. So they're more comfortable with the system, and take my hats off, they're just trying to get a little better each day.
How about Sebastian Dennis? What have you seen from him, especially like his growth as a player and kind of subbing in and out with KJ as well in that situation?
Well, it's another guy we talk about his versatility. We loved him a lot last year as a rookie. He was flashing, then he got injured, then came back and did some good things for us. This year he was kind of the same way, got injured, said in training camp, so now he's coming back. But it's another guy that's versatile. You want to match packages. We like him for this job. We like him for this job. And it just helps us with versatility.
With the injury to Twan, how much of a luxury is it to have Jordan back in their back end?
No question. Well, to have Jordan back, period, was just huge because, it's funny the year we lost him. We were going through the cut-ups afterwards and like, Jordan made the tackle, and we, you know what I'm saying? So we were always fond of it. And then to have him back and just his presence is just, I don't know if you remember in the past, to me, he was the catalyst. A few years ago against Green Bay, Jordan was the guy that made us go, and it's just, to have him back in the building, just at practice every day in the building, it just lifts everybody.
Kacy, last week, Tyke Smith missed practice on Thursday and Friday. Wasn't really feeling well up until game day. What can you say about his ability to still go out there and play as well as he did at Ford Field?
He had a mask on 2 days and walked through, and then it showed up and played in the game. Just what this guy was, since he walked in, he's been in the first group since the day we got him on campus. He didn't really rotate too long, but just to say 2 days, not even in the building, come through, walk through, and have mask on for Saturday, Friday, and Saturday, then playing. My hat goes off because a lot of guys prepare all week and don't play, and he was limited or couldn't practice. Then in a mask, then he played well in the game. It's just those guys are just stepping up.
He said he couldn't even breathe on game
He
day.
could. He told me the same thing, dude. Right. I'm telling you.
In the locker room too. He did not look well.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at him and like, he got a mask on and we saying he's starting? Oh, okay. I was the same way.
Flu.
COVID?
No, it's just the flu, they said, but he had the mask and he kept the mask on. I was like, okay. So I was like, that's interesting. He played.
What are the biggest challenges facing a rookie quarterback early in the season when you haven't seen much film of him in the framework of the offense?
Well, the thing about it, their system is their system. When we were looking back at their stuff last year and what they're doing this year, and then our familiarity with Sean from his time in New Orleans, their system is the system, and you can kind of see how they plug and play with the players. This guy's handling this role, this guy's doing that role. And then they're really doing a great job of establishing the run. They're hard-headed about running the ball to make his life easier throws on play action if you get the running game going. Every kind of screen known to man. Then they got gadgets. Then they got 100 personnel group, and then they mess around with personnel in and out of the game. They make you prepare all the things. The stuff they do to defenses to make us prepare, make it life easier for a young quarterback.
What do you think is clicking so well for Joe Tryon showing into this year? I know that he didn't maybe get a sack this week, but he obviously, had a one in week 1, but just he did make some really timely, important plays in this game, and it does seem like things are really clicking for him.
Well, it's one, I think it's time, and I think he wants it. You know what I'm saying? He really wants. Joe has been great since we walked in, and just what the expectations for him is high, and we want him to get to that bar. But everything he does in practice, everything he's trying to do in the game, Joe, if he just keeps coming, we'll like it a lot.
And what has been key, because you kind of have like a platoon situation going on with KJ and with Servassier, situational and things like that, but just being able to have those guys, have them kind of transition playing alongside Levante, like what's key to making that work? Because it seems like you got to have really good communication when that happens, and otherwise you could have a drop off.
No doubt. Well, both of those guys are really unselfish, and the thing is, the more we can play everybody in this league, it's the NFL. People are going to get hurt and banged up, and the next guy, the more reps we can get them and get them more play time against good people, it's just going to help us down the road. So those guys, everybody just want to try to help us be successful. No one care. He got 20 plays. I got 50. I've not heard that everybody is trying to pitch in and see what we can do to help.
Through 2 games,
Few more, please.
Braswell hasn't made much of an impact on the field, but what have you seen in terms of his development behind the scenes?
What we had in practice and stuff like this is a guy still learning and very talented. And so the thing is, as he comes, it's kind of very similar to Yaya last year. We was quiet, then he took off. If you really think, I think Chris is kind of like that, watching Yaya and Joe and them play in front of him and Nelly and this and that. Then he'll find his role and take off because it's a talented player.
What have you seen from KJ in his games? Because a lot of hype's been around like what Servassier has been doing. What have you seen from KJ that's impressed you?
KJ has been kind of steady Eddie. KJ is the primary signal caller when we're in base, so his voice is always talking to the defense and this and that, and he's just a guy, he's the same guy every day when he walks in the building. So right there is kind of leveled everybody's off, and this is one of the most unselfish people we have on the team.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.